So it's my pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Ambassador Dr. Iman Abdul Samia Ali Hussein Alam, lecturer at Botany and Microbiology Department, Faculty of Science, Al Azhar University, Egypt. Dr. Alam is a dedicated lecturer and a highly skilled researcher and a trainer of trainers, trained various science-related subjects at undergraduate, postgraduate, doctoral, and postdoctoral levels, with a special interest in psychochemistry, plant psychology. She has got MSc and PhD thesis in plant psychology, production and improvement of secondary metabolites from wild medicinal plants using tissues culture techniques and biological evaluations of these secondary metabolites as in the treatment of many human dangerous diseases. This point is her first scientific interest. Additionally, Dr. Alam has submitted to 16 patents related to new drugs extracted from plants and novel methods from the determination of tannins in plant extracts. Also, she has 45 books in the area of medicinal plants and in improvement of research skills of youth researchers and students. In addition to this, she has also 36 internationally published scientific papers in this area of science. She renowned many international scientific books and scientific original articles for many international scientific publishers. She is the president of hundreds international scientific meetings and participate as keynote speaker, resource person, organizer, moderator, and chairperson in nearly about 1,500 international scientific meetings and engaged in many international training programs as organizer and instructor in a collaborative work with many international scientific and training organizations in many countries in Europe, USA, Asia, and Africa. We welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
Hello, my voice is clear.
Yes, ma'am. Please
Hello.
continue. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very happy to be with you today. Today, together, we will talk about simplification of science. But before starting, I need to thank your respected organization for inviting me. I need to thank Capi Comerion Capi Comerion Trust for inviting me. Thank you, Dr. Shalija, for inviting me, and greetings to all of you and all organizers for supporting us by organizing such great events. First of all, let's share screen. This is Dr. Iman Alam from Egypt, Faculty of Science, Al Azhar University, and today together we will talk about simplification of science. But before starting, I need to do little introduction. Just allow me to share screen. Okay, I am coming. Is my screen is clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today together we will talk about active teaching and simplification of modern sciences for a better future. But please allow me to close a video from this phone because I am using two devices. Today we will talk about active teaching and simplification of modern sciences for a better future. Let's go. First of all, I need to say that sharing knowledge and science is not a job, it's a message. So we are as like as messengers or followers of messengers. So we must do it seriously with all love and appreciation. We need to respect this issue and we need to improve ourselves to be able to improve our students because we are not able to improve our students unless we are improving ourselves before. So accessing Change and transformation in higher education is an essential task for leaders. This is said by Peter Ekin. Educational organizations are places of leadership. So we need to get leaders of today's and also leaders of tomorrow. Sharing knowledge and science is not a job, as I said before. So we have to focus to sorry we have to highlight two issues: responsibilities and motivation. We need to educate by focusing on our responsibilities, and also motivation. We need to motivate our students. What about love? All letters of love are located between learning and education. So if we are deleting all other words, we will find that we are in front of learning and education. And without learning and without education, love will be of zero value. What about our life? What about sustainable development goals? We have 17 goals related to sustainable development goals, and education is the most important one in this issue. So education affects in on all goals and being affected also by them. We have an interaction between education and many other goals like health and many other things. For example, improvement of teacher skills and developing uh, teacher skills. In relation to sustainable development goals, we are talking about many interacting goals of sustainable development goals like four and number three. Also, when we are talking about equitable and inclusive education and right-based agenda against inequality, we are talking about goals number 4 and 5 and 10 and 16. So now we are in front of multidisciplinary education. According to UNESCO, we need to highlight the issue of knowledge-driven action, transforming higher education for global sustainability. It's very important to talk about independent expert group on the universities and the agenda of 2030. To do something like a short summary, we need to highlight the issue of higher education institutions. It must take on a stronger role to focus on the issue of problems of our society, and we need to be embedded and included in this issue. So, as I said before, we are talking about knowledge-driven actions and transforming higher education for global sustainability. We need to be smart, we need to be specific, measurable, and attainable, and also we need to have relevant and time frame goals. So let's talk some time about educators. Then I'll transfer to talk about students. We need to focus on the issue of how to acquire knowledge. We need to talk about thinking, listening, observing, writing, reading, learning, and also discussing. So, when we are talking about educators, we need to take in consideration some important terms like leadership, globalization, online universities, AI, which is the abbreviation of artificial intelligence, advanced sciences, interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary sciences, motivation, assessment, evaluation, improvement, overcoming crisis. Nothing will be done without evaluating ourselves. To improve ourselves, we need to evaluate ourselves. And also, we need to overcome all crises and obstacles. Let's talk also about digital transformation, blended learning, hybrid conferences, and quality assurance. Quality assurance is not the most important thing in education, but you need to be good, only to be evaluated as good. It's not by figure, it's by the fact. Your fact will determine you more than only your figure or your image, because maybe images are fake, but we need to be better on the land. So it's very essential to build a humanistic, ethical, inclusive, and purpose-based digital transformation of higher education for the global common good. So let's transfer to another issue related to India, especially because, as you know, I am included in many things related to Indian education because I was attracted by it. So let's talk about NAP, which is the abbreviation of National Education Policy. We need to return to 3 years ago, but I think nothing will nothing will be started at the end because I think hard work started before these 3 years ago. So education is the backbone of the society. I agree totally. And I think all of you will agree totally with me that education is the backbone of the society. So education is the most powerful weapon through which we can exchange or we can change the world. This is said by Nelson Mandela. So when we need to talk about NAB, we need to highlight the issue of that education is the most powerful weapon inside this world, and by using it, we will change our world. So we have moral values included in the issue of NAB. So NAB is promoting Indian value-based education with eco-development of holistic education and also paracentric education, and also development of knowledge-based society and emphasis on knowledge-based education. So students will be better prepared before reaching to the college level. They will be ready to be educators of tomorrow. We need to highlight the issue of communication. We need to highlight the issue of self-esteem, for example, and also ethics related to teamwork and so on. So we are talking about competition. We are preparing not only competitive students, but also we are preparing educators of tomorrow. What about improvement of scientific knowledge and research skills of students and educators and researchers and students, as I said before, in relation to sustainable development goals? Why I am correlating everything by sustainable development goals? Because we need to highlight all issues related to supporting our life. So I think goals of sustainable development goals are very important to the sustainability of our life, and the sustainability of our life will be done by improving education. So let's talk about professional development skills for modern educators. As I said before, transferring the science is not a job. So it's a message. So we need to improve ourselves to be able to improve our students. What about education? It's not only knowledge. It's not only lesson. It's a practice. It's experience by time. And it will be skills. So talking about skills means that you are talking about some important terms, including the ability to grow, including advanced thinking, including knowledge, learning, and competition and training. We are working on the improvement of ourselves to improve our students. By time we will have experience. So What about professional development? So you are talking about monitoring, consultation, practice, and improvement of ourselves, and also learning and reflection. So we need to be in continuous professional development. We need to highlight the issue of leadership, and we need to achieve success, real success, not fake success. We need to talk about career development, self-assessment, career awareness, goal setting, skill training, and performance. So we have some core features related to effective professional development, including coherence, active learning, focusing on content, knowledge, and also collective participation. And also, we need to take into consideration the duration of time. So it's not only by curriculum, but curriculum is very important. So when we are talking about educator, we are talking about curriculum, we are talking about colleagues, we are talking about students also. So we need to develop our curriculum to be more creative, more attractive to our students, to be more simple. We need to simplify it. Making something simple is doesn't mean that we are making it very easy and means nothing. No, but we can do this with many modern sciences and many advanced sciences, so we can reach this goal by improving our and developing our curriculum. So we need to talk about having a vision. We need to have a vision and mission. We need to talk about the language art, the visual art. We need to talk about science, the scientific value of our curriculum. We need to have some information with impact, not only something to be done, something to be said, but we need to choose the best things to be transferred to our students. Let's talk also about self-development. I think we need to highlight the issue of holistic. Talking about self-development, we are talking about knowledge. We are gaining the knowledge via workshops and also training and seminars and improving our skills and so on. So now we are training. We need to build the teamwork environment. We need to highlight the issue of human skills and soft skills in relation to communication, empathy, understanding body language, and growth of mindset, and also self-awareness and self-esteem and so on. We call this skill as either human skills or other soft skills. Sorry. So educators with strong human skills can form deeper connections with colleagues and students, and this will serve as a strong foundation for positive workplace performance in terms of innovation and adaptive thinking and collaboration and more other needed things. include empathy and compassion, and we need to highlight how to be a person having empathy and compassion, because we are not teaching for this. We are not teaching for stones. They are human beings, so we need to respect and appreciate all of them. We need to appreciate their circumstances. I'm not here to improve only successful students. I'm here to improve and motivate lazy students as like as clever students. We need to create a change, create a difference. We are not only here just to say bravo to the successful people. No, we need to create more successful people. We need to accelerate this issue. Also, we have very important thing, including communication. We need to have strong communication skills, listening, visual, and group communication, or using feedback and formal, informal, and so on. So we have different types of communication, and also we have different modes of communication. We need to talk about deeply human skills to have learning experiences to achieve our goals. We need to motivate learners to have many things, including enjoyment, interest, and internal values. As I said before, we need to focus on moral values based education. We have also of adaptability. Not all conditions are simple. We have some challenges and some uh, hard circumstances and some crises, so we need to overcome all of them. We need to think about coaching, leadership, and let's forget central leadership. No, we need to create many leaders. We need to have many leaders, not only one leader. We need to build trust. Trustability is very important between the educator and also the learner. So, human skills for creating a new, better tomorrow. We are talking about our future, so we need to improve and develop our skills. What about active learning? Active learning, inquiry-based teaching, and learning of some botanical sciences. I have an example from my life, from my daily life. Here, I'm inside uh, a workshop organized by school. It was in Malaysia about 5 years ago. We discussed the issue of inquiry-based science education, how to make scientific knowledge and very simple, how to attract the students to listen, to learn more and more things. From my personal experience, I have some published books done by me in the area of education and education of students. Here, achievements of many other books in the area of biotechnology, for example, active learning and education of sciences through inquiry-based education of sciences. I have an example, biotechnological sciences. Here, another book to simplify science, plant biotechnologies and pharmaceutical products, plant biotechnology and natural pesticides. Here, I encouraged one of my students to be as me. We wrote about bioinformatics in very easy manner. Also, we published many other books. This book is done by me about popularization of science. I have case study plants mentioned in the Holy Quran. Also, I try to simplify the issue of scientific writing to students. I prepared something like a dictionary, including alphabets of a scientific paper, how to simplify scientific writing of papers here of and also theoretical book. Also, I wrote some other books about how to simplify the scientific writing, diet and innovation, for example, and green bionanotechnology, some um, dangerous diseases, malaria, and many tropical diseases in our Africa. So also I wrote our life, how to make this uh, herbal medication from the land to be available to our hand. Here is very important book related to students, participation of students in scientific meetings and preparation of a scientific paper, how to talk about ethics and uh, rules of participation in international scientific meetings because we are preparing this dossier. Here I talked about the way to my future to give them something like positive energy, simplification of science in relation to botany and the Holy Quran. Here I talk about sexual reproduction in plants in very easy manner, and also I wrote about vector-borne disease as a problem in Africa and some countries inside Africa, and how to overcome the issue of neglected tropical diseases and diseases those are transmitted by insects and so on. Plants between the Holy Quran and the modern sciences is also one of my books, and so on. What about workshops? What about training programs? Alhamdulillah, I established more than 600 training programs to my students and students at different levels of education. Here we are inside schools. We need to think about all students, not only students of our faculty and our university and on. So here, sorry, here I think my camera is closed. No, it's okay. Just I wanted to check. Here we have invitation from some schools to do something related to simplification of science, and I delivered the lecture about alphabets of a scientific paper. I tried to deliver the issue to students of the school. What about inside our lectures? Improvement of research skills of the students and youth researchers. During the lecture, let's talk about monitoring. You are the leader, but you need to accelerate the issue of having many leaders inside your class. So we need to highlight the issue of superior excellent preparation. So you need to be ready. You need to be ready. You need to explain the lesson. Sorry. You need to explain the lesson carefully to them. You need to appreciate all modes of learning, including listening, visual, and so on. So we need to make sure all of them. not only focusing on listening or visual. No, we need to mix all modes of learning process. We need to repeat anything if needed. If they are asking you, please repeat this. So you need to repeat it. You need to ask them to interact. Interaction is very important. You need to listen to them carefully and encourage them and motivate them for discussion. So don't say to any one of your students, you are wrong, but please say you are right, but. So to encourage them, don't say again, don't say you are wrong. Say you are right, but don't look to the missing part of the cup. Encourage participation and responsibility. Advice, mentoring, awarding. Awarding is very important. To be the best leader, I need to award my students. I need to encourage them to be the best leaders. We are talking about awarding. We are talking about rewarding them and so on. I have an example inside uh, my lecture room and inside classroom and so on. So let's talk about sample observation inside the lecture. Yes, let's talk about long life learning message, such as I'm sending messages saying that love your responsibility in education. I'm talking to them verbally and non-verbally. I'm saying love your responsibility related to education. First, let's talk about such leaders of tomorrow. They started from today. The issue of sampling and the description of samples. Here, we are doing something like brainstorming. I'm saying we. It's not me only. It's all. So for this reason, I'm saying we. So we are doing, for example, brainstorming. Very important to allow them to interact with you and interact with each other. I'm informing them. Please listen. Please listen to others. Please listen and appreciate and respect the knowledge itself. So interaction is very important. Also, let's talk about successive awarding. I'm sending a message to them that not all people are the same. Life is not very easy, but you need to work hard. So I'm doing successive awarding. I'm not awarding all of them equally, but I'm doing something like successive awarding. And I am putting the book on the top of this award because I need to send a message to them that book is the best, knowledge is the best, it's not the least, it's the best. Sorry, here, students. as a leader, leaders of today, not leaders of tomorrow. No need to wait for tomorrow. Here, I called this student as a doctor. She tried to participate with us for the first time. She is not a senior. She is only male a junior. She is at the first level. Her first time to participate. She is very happy by participation. She is very happy by acting as an educator, as an educator, and teaching the lesson to her colleagues. Here also another example from level number one, the first level. What about seniors? What about seniors? Seniors also are very happy with motivation. However, simple things can make them smile. I love this smile. I think these smiles are very important to anyone teaching to students or any educator. Making them happy is very important. We are not doing, as I said before, a job. We are not workers. We are messengers. So we need to make them happy. Here in Egypt, this award is like as £10. It's not a big amount of money, but she is very happy by participation, by being a leader, by being clever, acting as a lecturer instead of another colleague. I met these students for my first time and for their first time. I tried to uh, make them feeling more flexibility to, feeling flexibility to participate. They are very flexible in delivering the lecture with me. I accelerated and motivated them to act as an educator. One piece of biscuit maybe draw a smile. However, it's a very, very simple thing. And they are not young, but they are very happy by the meaning, by the value of being a leader, by the value of responsibility. So you can see that she is very happy. However, it's a very simple thing. It's not an important thing. But here also, after achieving her goal, she finished. She finished drawing this life cycle of agaricus, and she is happy by delivering a lecture to her students because now she is not a student, she is acting as a lecturer. So she is very happy by making them more understandable, and also I try to give her simple award, but it means a lot for all of them. I have many examples, and also after the lecture, we have inside the zoology department, we have some uh, things like small museum, and here I completed the lecture by offering them the agaricus, and we talked together, and we snapped some photos of happiness. They will still remember you. It's very important to be remembered. These students, just 3 years, met me by chance. I asked them to snap a photo to me in the department, They asked me to be with me in the photo. Love means a lot for students. They will remember you. They will not forget you. So love your students to be beloved educators. Scientific awards is very important. You need to motivate them. Here, I invited them to participate with me in a workshop related to nanotechnology. However, they are still young, but I'm trying to accelerate and motivate them. Here is an example related to servant leadership. These students are very clever in supporting others and they are very helpful. So I snapped the photo for them to refer to them. Also, online, we have servant leaders. We are talking about servant leadership in organizing events, in supporting others. Education during the pandemic, it's a very successful case study. I asked my students to try to do something like delivering lectures and to record the videos, and we are evaluating each other. Other students are participating in this evaluation. You can see all of them at the first level of biology. They talked about many topics, including reproduction of medicinal plants, time management, and scientific writing, publication of papers, and also presentation skills, and many other important topics. Improvement of research skills of the students, and science and diplomacy, role and ethics of participation in an international scientific meeting. Still, I love this workshop. Still, I am carrying a message including included in this workshop. I'm trying to transfer it to different generations because it's very important to have science development. Here, I am teaching them how to be chairperson. Her students are working as chairpersons. We are referring to good and bad practices, do or avoid this and blah blah. Students here as speakers. This student also, this student is related to the first level of biology. However, she can do best participation, best organization. Here I am learning, I am teaching her how to give others the certificate, what is good and what is bad practice in giving certificates. Here, some active participants, after doing something like brainstorming on the board, they are summarizing the event. This is the young active attendant. You need to motivate and activate the young member in any group. So this is the young active attendant. She attended with her sister because she is not in our faculty, but she is a student in a school. But she heard about the workshop related to science and development. She wanted to attend, but she is very, very clever. So I awarded her. Education by love equals engaging the students, responsibility, sorry, improvement, high performance for a better future. Here also with young students inside the schools. Here we are talking together with, together about scientific writing and simplification of scientific writing. You can see here, after being in, they are very interacting with me. Inside this photo, you can see students plus also their educators. They are listening to me. They are interacting now with me. What about adolescent also? Adolescent can do a change. Here they are very happy after gaining some knowledge related to scientific writing. However, very small award, but it means a lot for them. Superhero educators inside the school, inside the meeting. I'm very happy by meeting them because they are encouraging their students. Yes, I said before, adolescents also can create a change. So we need to simplify the issue to them. We need to accelerate them to learn. We need to motivate them. Many other workshops and many other. Yes, here you can see kids also are included inside the equation of simplification of learning and sorry, simplification of education. Here you can see different ages and the different stages of life. They are celebrating getting their certificates. They are very happy after hard work. I think this workshop is longer than 2 months, but they are very happy by gaining the knowledge, by learning new things. What about, as I said before, I talked about sustainable development goals. Okay, so let's correlate the issue of education by our lives, by our health. So let's visit hospitals to transfer science, to do something like awareness and so on. Here we have cancer hospital for child. So we are trying to uh, distribute awareness and also we are trying to distribute happiness. Me plus my students, they are very clever and very helpful. Here also we are delivering some lectures inside the hospital. My students again in national center. I try to not only inside our faculty, but we are going outside in different research centers and different universities and different schools and hospitals. Yes, also with kids. Yes, 10. This is the youngest one in our foundation. He is a kid, but he is inventing some things and he has many patents. I learned him how to talk about ethics of scientific research. Ethics of scientific research, some of people are saying is not big enough. He is very small, but I said no. With kids, yes, we can. We can do the change. Here, there is a visit to our university. Uh, School students also again, we talked together about diet and innovation. As you can see, huge number they visited our faculty and some museums in our department and also in zoology department. What about outside Africa, Nigeria? Here I traveled in postdoctoral fellowship. This is my colleague. This is my superhero friend. I love her too much because she is supporting kids. Here they are very happy by something like outside session related to awareness. As you know, tropical diseases and neglected tropical diseases and something like this will be overcome not only by medication but also by awareness. Here they are cleaning the place. And finally, I need to thank my dear sister, Dr. Shailaja, for inviting me, being my dear Yara, uh, my lifetime friend. Thank you very much for inviting me. I am very happy to be with you today. And thank you very much for all respect organizers and thanks for your faculty and for your university and also again for Capi Common. Thank you very much. I hope said I said something which is important or vital, and I'm very ready to listen from your side. But to conclude, I need to say, love being as an educator, love your students, love yourself, because you are doing a message, you are delivering a message, so you are deserving all the best. And also, I need to highlight the issue of simplification of science. Don't make it hard, but make it very easy to be and to be understandable and to be vital. Thank you again, and please draw smiles on the faces of our students because our future.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So, dear participants, you can ask your questions.
Thank you.
Participants, you can ask your questions now. Okay. So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your experience with us and thank you for your valuable thoughts. Thanks much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be with you today. It's a great pleasure to be with you. Thanks a lot.
Let me take this time to introduce our second speaker, Dr. Nandri Rajgopal, Associate Professor, Central University of Himachal Pradesh, Dharmashala, Kangra. So his areas of specialization: Indian English literature, Indian mystical tradition, American Indian literature, linguistics. And his areas of interest are Gandhian thought and philosophy, translation studies, interdisciplinary studies. His awards: he got award of research associateship by either India University, Sander, India Institute of Advanced Studies, Shimla, award of minor research project on interdisciplinary study entitled Freud Psychology Categories and Harold Bloom's Literary Theory by the University Grants Commission, and he also received a lot of awards. He has more than 30 years of teaching experience. He is lecturer in English at Uday Pradap Postgraduate College, Varanasi, and lecturer, Directorate of Higher Education, Government of Uttar Pradesh, lecturer, Department of Higher Education, Government of Himachal Pradesh, senior lecturer, Department of Higher Education, Government of Himachal Pradesh, Assistant Professor, Department of Higher Education, Government of Himachal Pradesh, Associate Professor, Department of Higher Education, Government of Himachal Pradesh, and he also administrate and his other work experience of Dean School of Language, Central University of Himachal Pradesh since 28 August 2022, Head Department of Hindi, Central University of Himachal Pradesh since 11 November 2021 to 12th March 2023, and Public Relation Officer to the Minister of Animal Husbandry, Fisheries and Dairy Development, Government of Uttar Pradesh from May 1992 to August 1992. Public Relations Officer to the Minister of Law and Legislative Affairs, Government of Uttar Pradesh from August 1992 to December 1992. Secretary General of Varanasi Academy from 1990 to 1995. So he has published nearly 10 books as an author, editor, and translator, and also he published 27 papers. He has participated more than 30 seminars, courses, and workshops, and he also presented 15 papers, and he also attended 30 seminars and webinars. So thank you so much for being with us, sir. We welcome you. Over to you, sir.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me so much of time to introduce me. Of course, I don't know your name, but well, from the bottom of my heart, I extend all my thanks to you. Good evening, everyone here. I really commend and admire about the patience that you people have, all the faculties who have joined from other countries as well. For listening constantly for 2 years, because faculties generally we like to speak, but hardly it happens that we like to listen to. But that's one reason that I admire you people a lot for that. Well, it's my great pleasure to be the part of this faculty development program on advanced communication skills and digital literacy in profession. I thank the organizers for inviting me to this platform. My lecture today will focus on online teaching. Most of you seems to be very young, and you must be knowing about the advantages and disadvantages of online teaching. But I'll just give you a brief idea as to what this online teaching is all about, and the inference that by the end of this lecture you are going to reach at. So this is an area that I have been interested in for the simple reason that post-pandemic is a time when all of us, whether we like or whether we dislike, we have had to get into this business of technological learning and taking help from technology for imparting education. I hope today my ideas would be inspirational to you in meaningful ways. What I believe is that research is not just about discovering new knowledge, but also about sharing that knowledge with others and making a positive impact on society. That's why I'm so excited to be here today to have this opportunity to engage with fellow researchers, fellow teachers, and to learn from your insights and experiences because you are into the same profession. So, without further ado, let's dive into the topic. And I hope that this lecture will be inspiring for all of us, not only for you, even for me. I'll just give you the points that I'll be taking note of, and I'll be talking to you about. After defining what this online teaching is all about, then a brief history about online teaching. It doesn't have a very long history, and then online teaching in what it is like here in our country in India. I know that I've been told by the organizer that faculty members from other countries have also joined. So I believe that, and I hope that it must be more or less same. Then I'll give you a comparison between classroom teaching versus online teaching, and then advantages and disadvantages. And of course, ultimately, I'll be taking a reference to ERT, that is a blended mode of teaching. And of course, in online online mode of teaching, how do we manage assessment and evaluation? And then how the blended mode of teaching is ultimately going to rule. So we know that modern generation's dominant pursuit is technology. So you talk about anything and technology is there. Even a street vendor also uses technology, so much so. So without question, this technology has swept the globe. This technology impacts every part of human existence, particularly food, communication, travel, recreation, and politics as well. So it's very dynamic, and it takes the right abilities to confirm. We can only arm ourselves and adjust to technological advancements through education. Therefore, education itself cannot slide behind while the rest of society embraces digitalization. So the sphere of learning has undergone a dramatic upheaval thanks to technology. Information and communication technology has become a crucial part of education imparting and education attaining process. Online teaching basically refers to delivering education and instruction through the internet, or there are various other digital platforms. It involves using various online tools and technologies such as video conferencing software. Right now, you can see how we are using this particular technology. And then learning management system, which is also known as LMS, and other online resources to facilitate teaching and learning. Online teaching can take many forms, including just now I said that video conferencing sessions, and then we have got pre-recorded lectures and presentations, interactive online activities, and assessment. So it can be conducted in a synchronous or asynchronous format. You must be well aware, because most of you are from science background and using technology. So meaning that a student can participate in real time or access material and activities at their own pace. So online teaching has become increasingly popular in recent years only, particularly in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has led to widespread schools and university closures and need for remote learning. However, online teaching has also been used many years in distance education and e-learning programs, as well as in blended learning environments where students combine online and in-person instructions too. As I said just now, there are different approaches to online learning. One, I said that it's synchronous, where instruction in real time, the one that we are having right now via internet, wherein we use live chat or live audio and video conferencing. And second, joint viewing of multimedia presentations and online slideshows. That also we do, but they come in synchronous kind of learning. And asynchronous learning methods, they use time delayed capabilities of the internet, wherein we put email and file attachment. So asynchronous courses are still instructor facilitated, but are not conducted in real time. This I have already explained. Can I have the slide changed? Will you please display the other slide? May I request the admin
Yeah,
to
wait a second, sir.
display the other slide? But if I talk about history, online teaching of online teaching, or what we also know as e-learning, it has a relatively short history as compared to traditional classroom teaching. Uh, the roots of online teaching can be traced back to 19. Yeah, yeah. Yes. So I was telling you about the roots of online teaching. If we have to trace, it can be traced back to 1960s, when computer-based training program were developed for the U.S. military for the first time. But late in the 1970s and 1980s, the universities they began experimenting with computer-based distance education programs. And the development of the World Wide Web, that we know as WWW, in early 1990s, it revolutionized in the field of online teaching. The first online learning management system, that is LMS, such as WebCT and Blackboard, were developed in the mid 1990s. And the first fully online degree program was launched by Jones International University in 1999. The year 2000 saw a significant growth in the number of online learning programs as more and more universities and institutions they began offering online courses and degree programs. The development of social media and mobile devices also made it easier to deliver online learning materials and engage with students remotely. In recent years, online teaching has become more widespread due to advancements in technology, one, and the global COVID-19 pandemic. This is the main cause of having advancements in technology, which forced many educational institutions to rapidly transition to online teaching and learning. Today, there are numerous online learning platforms and tools available, and online teaching has become an integral part of many educational institutions around the world. And we can't ignore, we are also a part of that. Overall, the history of online teaching has been marked by continuous growth and development as technology has made it easier to deliver education remotely and provide access to education for learners.
Sir, you are not audible.
Gopal sir? Gopal sir, you are not audible.
I think he left the meeting.
Wait, I am calling him. Please give me 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Excuse me, whether speaker sir has left the meeting?
Sir, he will join within minutes, sir.
Okay.
Dear participants, kindly wait for 5 minutes.
Yes, he is facing some technical issues. Now he will rejoin. Wait.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
So you are not audible
Hello?
now.
Yes, you're audible, sir. You can speak.
You're not audible. Sir, are you there?
Please do something.
Madam, kindly inform sir to turn off his video and present so that in poor network connection we can hear the audio properly.
Okay, okay. I will guide him. Okay.
Okay, madam.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
You
sir.
are
You may
audible.
continue, sir.
Hello.
You are audible, sir. You shall continue.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I have put off my video. Yes, I have put off my video so that I'm able. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
So now,
Yes, sir.
I
You
was
shall
telling
continue.
you about the similarities between classroom teaching and online teaching. Of course. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Of course, classroom teaching and online teaching are two different modes of instruction. They do share some common points. And I'll just go through, quickly. Both classroom teaching and online teaching share the same learning objectives. We have always, the objectives are always in front of us. The learning objectives define the expected outcomes of the instruction, regardless of the mode of delivery. Both the teaching, classroom and online teaching, it requires a well-designed instructional plan that outlines the content to be covered, the activities to be completed, and the assessment to be used. And they both of the teaching methods, they provide opportunities for students to receive feedback on their learning. This feedback can come from the instructor, peers, or self reflection. Both classroom teaching and online teaching can incorporate active learning strategies that engage students in learning process. For example, we can have some group work, some group discussion, and problem solving activities. Definitely, I'm sure that you must be doing this in order to enhance their understanding of any subject that you are taking up with your students. And at the same time, both the teaching require assessment methods to evaluate students, and these assessments can take various forms, such as I'll just give you very simple examples, but you may develop many more, like quizzes, some surprise tests, some essays, or you can give even some projects to them to see that they develop in the subject that you are dealing with them. And both these classroom teaching and online teaching require effective communication between the instructor and students. Communication can take various forms, such as lectures, discussions, emails, or online forums. So these common points, they highlight the importance of effective pedagogy and instructional design, regardless of the mode of delivery. By ensuring sure that online learning is delivered by teachers who are fully competent and enthusiastic, this is more important about teaching in a web-based environment. The connection between online education and the principles of traditional education may be maintained in the best activities at any time. This means that students can learn at their own pace and fit their studies around other commitments such as work or family and so on and so forth. Online teaching makes education more accessible to a wider range of students, including those who live in remote areas and have disabilities that make attending traditional classrooms difficult. So, I come from a hilly state of Himachal Pradesh in India. Here we have got, I was really surprised to know that in spite of having all transport and other facilities, but still they are so remotely placed that they have to walk for 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers on foot and then reach here to their universities and school, wherever they go. But online teaching, it makes education more accessible to a wider range of students. And another very important aspect of online teaching is that it is more cost effective than traditional classroom teaching, as it eliminates the need for physical classrooms, then textbooks and other materials. So this can result in lower tuition fees for students and lower overhead costs for educational institutions. And one more thing, it allows for personalized learning experiences, as student can work at their own pace and access resources that are tailored to their individual needs and interest. Then one more thing, which even in the present day government of India, it talks about interdisciplinary and collaboration kind of work. So online teaching can facilitate collaboration and communication between students and teacher, as online platforms provide tools for sharing ideas, feedbacks, and resources. Online teaching also helps students develop important technological skills, such as digital literacy, which has become more important now. Books are not only the thing where you have to read and understand, but you have to equip yourself. You have to make yourself digitally literate. So you should be equipped with online communication skills of online communication and collaboration, which are increasingly important in today's digital world. Although, see, I've been in the teaching profession for the past 30 years, and I did not have access to technology. But now, since I'm in education, I have got to know, I have got to learn a lot of technology skills in order to be here in the profession. This is so. So it reduces the need for physical transportation and paper-based materials. So, online teaching also enables students to learn from anywhere in the world and collaborate with peers and instructors from diverse backgrounds, preparing them for globalized workforce. Even more significant, it has become even more significant in 21st century due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has highlighted the need for alternative modes of education delivery during times of crisis. I'll just give you one case study. American Federation of Teachers have enlisted some guidelines for instructors, for teachers like you, the faculties, for teaching online. It is important for online instructors to have familiarity with online environment. An online course requires a high level of computing power and reliable telecommunications infrastructure. You have just now you have seen how for 2-3 times because of some the technical glitches, my connection with you got snubbed. And have capacity to use the medium to its full advantage to the students and encourage active participation. You have to be available to students on an extended basis electronically, both individually and collectively. Provide quick responses and feedback to student. Then qualities of successful online teachers are also there. I'm not going to talk much on that because you must be knowing how to enhance quality of successful online, wherein invite student, put input regarding the goals and agenda for the course, develop a well-organized courses, the structure of which is clearly communicated to student, clarify computer skills, terminology required for the course, give frequent individualized feedback using a variety of communication tools, help students connect with one another, and so on and so forth. Now, my concern is here human. How faculty reaches to students, the interaction between them. When you are interacting with them, since we are connected online in the virtual classroom, neither the instructor nor the student has the visual cues of face-to-face communication. What happens then? Here, therefore, there's one reason that how the instructor shapes the course climate through written comments and the tone of communication. Mind you, tone of communication with student is particularly important. So what you have to do, you have to humanize the course. Remember that although you are teaching online, but you are still teaching real people. So it helps if you and the students can put names with faces. So this is the one thing which I am telling you. Online teaching, many times it happens that you prepare and you know that you have to be there online for 1 hour, and you think that since you are facing a screen, so and you can speak anything, but you have to be very careful for this. And I know that as a sincere teachers, as a faculty members, you must be doing. So my concern is the humanity, the human part in it. Consider the tone of your own responses to students. Many times it happens that we go wayward. Use private emails for sensitive communications. Provide technical support and have a backup plan for students by providing printed material if needed. I request you kindly, ma'am, go on changing the slide. Otherwise, they may not be able to know.
Yes, sir. We are changing
Now,
the slides.
yes. Thank you very much, sir. Now, to talk about disadvantages of online teaching, Mark Edmondson is a professor of English at the University of Virginia. He claimed that teachers need to see their students physically to understand their physical, emotional, and intellectual needs. This is what will help the teacher to know how best to help them. He further claimed that teaching is dialogic, and this is what allows students to grasp the ideas explained in each class easily. When you are present physically in a classroom, there a dialogue takes place. But online teaching has got this disadvantage. So it doesn't become dialogic. For Mark Edmondson says that online teaching is in monologue, and it is one size fits all approach to teaching, which is not adequate. Online teaching has some more disadvantages as well that should be considered, including online teaching requires reliable internet connection. You have seen how I got disconnected with you people. And of course, access to appropriate hardware and software too, which can be a challenge for some students and teachers. Technical difficulties such as computer glitches, connectivity issues, and power outages can disrupt online learning, which in a traditional classroom we don't get. And one more thing, in this kind of teaching, one disadvantage that we have is that this teaching can be less personal than traditional classroom teaching, as it lacks face-to-face interaction. We don't know what students are doing behind their screens. So there is lack of face-to-face interaction between students and the teachers. This can make it harder to build relationships, ask questions, and receive immediate feedback. And you are supposed to have a high level of self-motivation. Not only you as a faculty, even for that matter, students, they are also are supposed to have self-motivation and discipline. As a student must manage their own time and stay focused without the structure and accountability of a traditional classroom setting. Of course, this is a problem which we have also faced when we had to conduct online exam. So teaching can make it easier for students to, online teaching can make it easier for students to cheat, as they have access to a range of online resources and may not be supervised during assessment. One more thing, I feel that it can limit socialization opportunities for students, and they may not have the same opportunities to interact with peers and participate in extracurricular activities, because you are confined within your own four walls and you can't go out, which is a part of overall development of a student. Online teaching can be a significant change for students and teachers who are accustomed to traditional classroom setting, which can lead to adaptation challenges and a need for additional training and support. In my case, if you ask me, I'll tell that in the beginning it was really very hard for me to get accustomed to these technological aids. But even then, I feel that I'm still a learner. I'm still a beginner, because I've seen that people who are well equipped in digital literacy, they do wonders. And online teaching may exacerbate existing social and economic inequalities, as a student lack access to technology or internet connectivity may be at a disadvantage. Now, again, yes, you have already changed it. Before the pandemic, the primary purpose of online education was to provide access to instruction for those otherwise unable to participate in a traditional place-based academic programs. During the pandemic, its purpose shifted to supporting the continuity of instruction and its audience, as well as wider learning ecosystem change. So it will be interesting to see which aspects of emergency remote teaching, ERT, I'm talking to you about emergency remote teaching, because earlier that was not the case. Now teaching online has become an emergency remote teaching. It has become way now. Remain this ERT remain in the next generation of education when the threat of COVID-19 is no longer a factor. But online education will undoubtedly find new audiences. It is not going to stop because now we don't have any more that serious threat of COVID-19. In contrast to experiences that are planned from the beginning and designed to be online, emergency remote teaching, that is ERT, is a temporary shift of instructional delivery to an alternate delivery mode due to crisis circumstances. Due to the use of online learning, both teachers and students, they experience physical issues. This also we can't ignore. The intense light from a computer or a laptop screen can harm a student's eyes. Why to talk about student? Even for that matter, even the faculty members. If they study online for 6 to 8 hours non-stop, we are already started receiving problem faced by faculties and students both. Their physique and skin are becoming bland, and as a result, quite detrimental to them physically. So we have to be worried about this too, this aspect. And more so, mental health and well-being of online instructors. I'm talking about you, the faculty members. Having good mental health is very, very crucial for the overall well-being of an individual. Mental health conditions can have a major impact on the output and performance at workplace. Employees or workers with poor mental health may show signs of increased absenteeism, decreased productivity, and less likely to be satisfied with their job. And then this mental health is one such important factor that should be promoted and supported on a personal as well as societal level, because it is one of the most critical components and contributors to the overall well-being and functioning of an individual. One case study, and I'll explain it to you. Erica and Andrews, they mention about some empirical studies about the mental health of online instructors in their research article in the Journal of Educational Thought. What they have to say? Smith, Brashen, Miner, and Anthony, in their empirical study, and this study was conducted way back in 2015. And it concluded that over 85% of respondent online instructors reported moderate to high levels of stress, which affected work performance, emotional well-being, and sleep patterns, mainly due to time constraints, technical issues, and large class sizes. Online, you can add as many students as possible. There is no problem. Dolan, on the other hand, 2011 concluded that online instructors reported a lack of connection to their institutions, poor communication, feelings of isolation and loneliness, and an overall lack of support. The institutions of education should plan strategies to address such issues. So this is something that even I ask you, faculty members, since you are into it, so you must know and make a category of the illness, mental illness that you have, and how to plan a strategy to combat with it. And then we have not only we have to impart education, but at the same time assessment and evaluation are also to be done. Now see, I have been receiving a lot of scripts for assessment online. I have to sit for hours together, and hundreds and hundreds of copies you have to select just sitting in front of a computer. So online teaching, assessment, and evaluation are important processes that help measure the effectiveness of online teaching and learning. So some key factors that should be considered. Learning outcomes should be clearly defined and measurable so that online instructors can design and deliver effective online instruction that aligns with the intended learning outcomes. So, instructors should be evaluated based on their teaching effectiveness, their communication skills, ability to engage learners, and responsiveness to students' need. All these things are to be taken into account. Course content, this another important thing, should be up to date. It should be relevant, engaging to students. It should be framed in such a way that student, the moment they get into, they engage themselves in. The content should also align with the learning outcomes and be delivered in a way that is easy to understand and follow. Then the LMS, the learning management system used should be user friendly and effective in facilitating communication, collaboration, and learning activities. It is important to solicit feedbacks from students about their learning experience. This feedback can be gathered through surveys, focus groups, or other means. Assessment methods used in online teaching should align with the learning outcomes and be appropriate for the online environment. Course evaluation is an important component of the assessment process. It provides an opportunity for students to provide feedback on the course content, instructor effectiveness, and overall learning experience. Overall, online teaching assessment and evaluation should be an ongoing process that helps improve the quality of online instruction and students' learning outcomes. So ultimately, the inference that I reach at is the post pandemic teaching is going to be predominantly blended learning. Blended learning, which combines traditional face to face instruction with online or digital learning, has several important benefits. One is that this blended mode of learning can provide students with a more personalized learning experience. By incorporating online tools, teacher can tailor instructions to meet the individual needs of each student, whether they need extra support or are ready for more advanced material. Then this allows for greater flexibility in scheduling and pacing, as a student can access digital resources and complete coursework outside of traditional classroom hours. By incorporating digital tools and resources, blended learning can help increase student engagement and motivation, particularly for students who may struggle with traditional classroom instruction. As I said in the beginning, that online teaching is cost effective. So blended learning can be a cost effective way to provide high quality instructions, as it can reduce the need for expensive textbooks and other materials. This also can facilitate collaboration and communication between students and teachers, as well as among students themselves, through online discussion forums and other collaborative tools. Overall, blended learning has the potential to enhance student learning outcomes and improve access to education, particularly in setting where traditional classroom instruction may be limited or difficult to access. To conclude, information and communication technologies will keep playing a crucial role in our destiny as they merge into more and more facets of our everyday lives. It will keep evolving and adapting because, as users, each of us desires alternatives. So individuals, they relish expanding technology for self-development, for inspiration, excitement, as well as for prosperity. In the words of B. Ganguly, the present day education in India has transformed thus. For the Indian education system, new age technologies like AI, artificial intelligence, ML, that is machine learning, AR and VR, that is augmented reality or virtual reality aids, and clouds are game changers. They have tailored the learning experiences for the students and have facilitated personalized e learning. As the technology keeps changing, new methods of customizing content, user centric learning platforms, and teaching methodologies will emerge in the teaching learning sphere to deliver fast track education via e learning. While this transformation is prominent in most parts of India, the other regions are bound to catch up soon. To speak in nutshell, to be brief, online teaching in combination with classroom teaching offers significant benefits and addresses many challenges, making it an essential tool for educators and learners in the current century, that is 21st century. With this, I conclude. And I really thank you all for such a patient hearing. And now I'm open to your observations, your suggestions, your questions. I remain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So, dear participants, you can ask your questions now. So, participants, any questions?
Yes, so Mr. R has raised his hands.
So, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time with us.